into the room. You're free to just be you. Tell me your story, and we will go exploring. Let's explore together.
Hello and welcome to Sack in the City. I'm your host, Teresa Marie. Joining us today is Brent.
Hi there.
Brent is here to talk to us about being a gay male as well as a drag queen. I know, we don't really see that. I don't get it. So a lot of really amazing things to talk about. Let's go ahead and get started.
Sure.
So let's start with the whole gayness.
Great. What do you want to know about it?
How did you know you were gay? And how old were you?
I think it was about 12 years old when I had at least a concept of what it was. Mm-hmm. I grew up in a very small town. I didn't really have a lot of ideas of what gay was. I have a brother who used to be my sister, about 10 years older, who came out as a lesbian at the time. So I had an idea of what that meant. But I knew that I would see girls at school and I wasn't really that interested, and I would spend more time and attention paying attention to guys. And that didn't really mean much to me at the time until I really started developing like attractions and hormones started going up and everything.
Right.
And you do what a lot of gay kids do, or people who at least have this idea that they might be, where you say it's okay because you like reason with it. Like if I'm having a moment, I'm thinking about a guy with a girl, so it's not technically gay.
Sure.
You'll evolve into like, oh, I'm bisexual, so there's still a woman in there somewhere, and then finally you just get to this point where it's like, I'm gay.
So let me ask you this.
Sure.
If you have recollection, 12 years old, a few days ago for you. So the first person that you remember wanting to kiss, was that a male or a female?
That was the first person I ever wanted to kiss. I was actually 5 years old, and it was a girl named Emily.
Okay.
And but that was really just because I thought she was really cool.
That's so weird. Me too.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Hey,
Emily.
it might be the same Emily. How you doing? But I think it was more or less because she had really cool Barbies. But no, but the first guy I ever wanted to kiss, gosh, that's so long ago, I'm not certain. But I think in terms of realistically, when I started to own the feelings and develop it, it was this really cute kid at school named Brandon who was like kind of openly bisexual, and I was really into him and I thought he was everything, and that's when I started to realize that I might actually be gay.
And what age was that at?
So at that point I was probably about 14, so it was about 2 years before it really developed and I was really able to accept the fact that I should maybe be paying attention to these feelings.
And was he the same age as you?
He was a year younger than me at the time.
Oh, so he was 13. And he was openly bisexual.
Yeah.
Kind of a big deal, especially back then.
Especially just yesterday. Still young, still innocent. It's crazy.
Yeah.
No, but it's also a very small town. I grew up in Cameron Park.
Okay.
And so it was a very religious town. There wasn't a lot of representation. And just to see somebody who was so proud of themselves and being who they were was super cool.
So he kind of opened the door, so to speak, for you.
Yeah, in a big way. He absolutely did. I came out, and then it was I think it was even about like 6 months later that I decided to actually like pursue him. But he really, just being there and being who he was a big inspiration, for sure.
How old were you when you came out?
I was probably 15 when I actually came out. It's always a whole development. There's the thinking you might be, there's the understanding you are, and then there's still going to be that long process in between where you're willing to come out as a person, as a gay person.
But for a lot of people, 15 is actually pretty young to come out.
Yeah, absolutely.
A lot of people don't face that until they're in their 20s. So you came out at 15, and you came out to your parents, your whole family, your friends. When you first came out, who did you initially come out to?
So when I first came out, it was my friends. They were already super cool, fun, liberal bunch. I hung out with the goth kids. I was total early 2000s goth. It was like trip pants and fishnets and spikes.
I understand
and Liberty
something
spikes.
about that.
I bet you do. Mhm. No, so my friends were all very accepting. We had a very small but still prominent gay straight alliance at my school, so
Okay.
I was able to at least talk to other people about
Sure.
it. When I finally came out to anyone who was a family member, it was my mom, and that was completely by accident. She found a love letter I had sent to this guy in my backpack because she's kind of nosy, and
And his name wasn't Lisa.
it certainly was not
So
Lisa.
she knew.
Right,
Okay.
exactly. And you know, she was very religious at the time, but
Okay.
the moment she found it, it's almost like a switch flipped in her head. And she was like, you know what? You're gay. This is fantastic. I love you. I would do anything for you. There was never any awkwardness between us about, you know.
You're my son.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So you did bring up the fact that she was religious, of a Christian faith?
Yes.
Okay. So somewhere maybe in her doctrine or in the teachings that she had followed, are you saying that homosexuality was wrong? So
Homosexuality was not talked about specifically in our church,
Sure.
so it was confusing, and we kind of went with the default that it probably wasn't right.
did you go to church before you came out?
I actually
Or when you
pushed my
discovered
family to church.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, I
awesome.
think I was probably like 9 or 10 years old when I was really interested in it, and I asked my mom, why don't we go? And it's so cliche, but I feel like the big reason I wanted to go to church was because they would do musicals every year, and I was like, I want to be a part of that.
Cliche. Literal definition. No?
No, but it was fun. It was great.
Yeah.
And
it's
I
welcoming and
yeah.
together, and it's beautiful. Yeah.
It was great. No,
Yeah.
we had a lot of fun with it. It was a very cool church in that they were still trying to really like, not push the religion, but teach
Sure.
the religion. But it was very young and hip and kind of cool. But it was still in like the Shingle Springs, Placerville area,
Sure.
which, if you're familiar, it's very much like a kind of a religious conservative area.
A little bit boondocks.
Exactly.
Yeah. So was this particular church, I know they didn't talk about it, but were they open at all to, homosexuality or, same-sex marriage or any of that?
It's difficult to say.
Because they didn't talk about it, right?
They didn't talk about
Yeah.
it. Yeah, the church was very much, it was a time frame where the church didn't really discuss it if they didn't have to. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so everybody in that church, it ended up they either didn't know a gay person, or
Right.
if you did know somebody, it was still pretty early for any discussion like that.
Sure.
And if you are a church, you don't want to show your negative qualities if you can avoid it. Like if you are in a church that proactively is against homosexuality, you probably don't want to be preaching it unless it's absolutely necessary.
I think that's fair.
Yeah,
I think that's
absolutely.
definitely fair.
Nobody wants to show their bad hand. So,
Do you still go to church?
no.
Okay.
I was, I think actually when I was about 13 years old is when I stopped going.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you feel? Because that's kind of a big thing for Christians, and people that are gay, is that they don't. A lot of times, people feel that those worlds cannot mix. How do you personally feel? Do you think that you can be a woman attracted to women and a man attracted to a man and believe in God?
My whole philosophy on religion is pretty much, I'm a big Kevin Smith fan, huge. So
I know a few of those.
Interesting. So I really like dogma, and I like their approach to it, where it's okay to have an idea, a belief. It becomes difficult to interpret it once it becomes a religion, because that's a group of people saying it has to be this way.
Okay.
Me myself, I'm much more open to the idea of a belief. And for me, I believe there is a power. I believe that that power is nowhere near as condemning as certain people would have you believe.
Sure.
And I don't know who that power is, but I believe that they're somewhere up there.
Do you believe in God?
I believe in an idea of God, but I don't believe in the standard God that people talk about.
would you maybe then consider yourself agnostic? Or you believe in a higher power, but you're not quite sure what it is or where it fits in?
I would consider myself open. That's probably the best way to say it.
Without the label.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Knowing
Fair.
that there's potentially something out there, but not even knowing
How
what
do
it
you
is.
feel about other people, though, part of the gay community who believe in God?
That was a struggle for me when I was a kid, because when I was about 13, the reason why I quit is going to church is because I was pretty sure if you're religious, you hated gay people, which it's a limited scope, but you're young. And as a result, I knew a lot of people in the area who were gay and also religious to some extent.
Sure.
And I couldn't wrap my head around it. I didn't know why you would actively preach and actively come to a place where people don't like you. It made no sense to me. But as I get older, I start to understand that people have a different relationship with God and their faith that maybe doesn't represent what the church says.
Sure.
Yeah.
So kind of to each their own, if you will.
Exactly.
Okay.
Totally.
So you're cool with it. You don't think that one is necessarily against the other or whatever. It's to each their own.
Absolutely.
Okay.
On a personal level. I feel like at some point when you approach it as a group, it becomes an issue, because a religion can always take a good side and a bad side, and you're going to see that from any religion, regardless of what you're looking at.
Well, let me ask you this, though. Can't any group do the same?
Oh, absolutely. But as a result, that's kind of why I'm against the idea of an organized religion. I feel like it's the same way when you see a group of people that rally against each other. Like, it's not even a religious thing. It's Democrats, it's Republicans, it's anybody who takes this idea of what they believe in, rallies around this really loose idea and says it has to be this way no matter what. You're going to see that regardless.
Yes, understood. So you came out when you were 15. Now, was that before or after your first encounter?
It was definitely after.
Okay. We know this.
Yeah. It was nice. Obviously.
It was nice.
Yes, it was nice. It was fun. It was great in hindsight. Not now I understand how great it was. But when I was a kid, you're still trying to figure everything out.
Right.
But it was a situation where I obviously came out to them, because you have to if you're getting involved in that. And we had hooked up. And I told my mom I was sleeping at a friend's house, because that's what you do. And it was awkward afterwards, because it happened, and then he was gone, and I didn't know how to process those feelings, so I was angry. And you can't really talk to a lot of people about why you're angry about that.
Had you been with a woman ever before you were with a man?
I had dated girls. Again, I think the last time I actually dated a girl was when I was maybe 12 years old or something like that. So it wasn't a date.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. And so you never...
No. There was a girl who was, she was surprisingly sexually active for the age we were. But in terms of she was interested in sex. She wasn't sexually active. I'm not calling her out on that. She was interested in sex, which you wouldn't be.
She is totally watching right now, so I'm glad you said that.
Sorry,
she
JC.
was all...
Oh, great. More reasons to hate him.
I go by Jessica now.
Right.
Anyway, continue, yeah.
So, no, but she had suggested that we hook up.
Okay.
And I didn't like it. And I didn't know if it was because I didn't like it because I was young, or because of the other feelings I had been having at that time, because that was around the same time.
Did she touch your southern regions?
She did not, no.
Okay.
No, very respectful. She was absolutely wonderful. No, she's great. She's
progressive, but she was
Right.
still...
A fun fact, she's actually what I like to call a conduit, because about 3 or 4 other boyfriends she had after that ended up being gay too. So, I am completely saying that being gay is something that you're born with, but it's just she found something very unfortunate. Yeah.
I would... Okay, it's not about me. Because I'm thinking, oh my goodness, at some point, you just can't get laid. And you're just like, wow, I am so frustrated.
But she got it out of her system early.
Anyways, okay, well then, wonderful.
Absolutely.
So, your first real sexual experience was with a male.
It was, yes.
And you loved it.
I did.
At least now.
I'm on the
when you
path
look
now,
back.
so
Yeah.
yeah.
I think we call it the Yellow Brick Road path, actually.
Ah! Thanks, Judy.
Well, I'm from Kansas, so I can say that.
Okay.
All right. So then you come out to your mom.
Yes.
Your mom was not instantly over the moon, but quickly came around and said, I love you, I support you, it's fantastic, great.
Right.
How was the rest of your family? Were they receptive?
It kind of got split down the middle. You know, my family now on both sides is very accepting. My dad was a little uncomfortable with it, but we never had like a really strong relationship. So there
Okay.
was never really a sit down, let's talk about it. It was more like I got a message from him online saying, hey, we should probably talk about this. And
Okay.
I was scared and anxious. So
Sure.
we never actually had a formal talk about it.
Yeah.
But having said that, on the other side of my family, everyone was super accepting.
Really open and okay.
Yeah, I had a
Great.
very odd story. Because again, understanding that my family was from either Placerville or Cameron Park, my mom's side anyway, I sat down and I told my grandparents that I was gay. And my grandma, very loving, very accepting immediately. My grandpa, weirdly accepting to a point. He was a private investigator and he sat me down and he said, listen, I want you to know I love you. I love the fact that you're gay. I know there's a lot of upstanding gay people in society, and I think it's amazing that you feel strong enough to come out to us. I feel like that shows a lot of respect towards us, and I'm really proud of you. And then there was a beat, and then he said, but please don't bring home a black man. I was like, okay.
Love you too, Grandpa.
Thanks, Grandpa. Sweet man. Currently dead.
So that was rest in peace. No, we
Right.
always say rest in peace. So that was his stipulation
right.
to your gayness.
Pretty much. Yeah, exactly. It's like there's still some sort of racial tensions, but he was okay with the gay fact. So
This a little off-color remark on my point, and no pun intended. But you think he would have been okay if you brought home, you know, a Mexican or an Asian man?
I don't believe so. He came from a different time where he was in the police force. And
So
it
he
was
wanted you to be with a white dude,
pretty much.
just flat out.
Pretty much. And you know what? That was him at the time. I'm pretty sure if he was still alive and he had met somebody and they were of color, he might have been okay.
Right. And so we can all, again, rest in peace.
Right.
Okay, Grandpa. But he was totally fine with the fact that you were going to fall in love and make a future with a man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just a white man.
Strange priorities. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just want to acknowledge that. Okay, awesome. And so, are you single? Are you in a relationship?
Fairly recently single.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you could just look into the camera and go ahead and say your height, weight.
Height and weight.
I was totally trying to make it into a dating video, so I thought that would be cool. Please don't do that, actually. This is not a dating website.
I would prefer
And
that,
guess what?
actually.
Yes, it is, because we would get a lot of views with you out there, I think.
Hey,
So,
my name is Brent. I'm a Billy Corgan impersonator.
oh man. So one of the things I want to talk to you about, which is a really uncomfortable topic for all of us.
Oh boy. Okay.
Recently, a pedophilia group, I won't say their name because I won't say their name.
Okay.
But they have tried to affiliate themselves with the gay community. How do you feel about that?
I mean, look, at the end of the day, you are going to have pedophiles who are gay. You're going to have pedophiles who are straight. But at the end of the day, do you associate pedophiles with the straight community? You don't. And you, by no means, should you associate a pedophile with anyone in the gay community. At the end of the day, it's a preference. And yes, I can understand why they're trying to grasp at us because we're still technically considered like a niche area.
A little bit of minority, if you will.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But no, it's complete and utter horseshit.
So you don't want them anywhere attached?
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
It's one of those things where at the end of the day, when they know they're going to have controversy, they're going to try and attach themselves to somebody who's had some sort of a semblance of acceptance.
Sure.
And by no means do we
Yeah.
want to share that with them.
Fair.
Yeah.
It's something that I really wish that I didn't have to go there or bring up or ask a question, but unfortunately there are a fair amount of people out there that have blurred the lines.
Yeah. Thanks, Kevin.
Help! I've escaped from Kevin Spacey's basement!
We know who. And there have been others too, and there are other people that are like really confused to think that if you're attracted to men that you're attracted to little boys. And with that I would say, well, I'm attracted to men. Does that mean I'm attracted to little boys? Certainly not. So it was important to nip it in the bud.
Yeah.
And I felt really uncomfortable asking that.
But
So I'm
here
just
we
going to
are.
brush off my jeans and do one of these
Take
and
another
just rub it all off.
Drink of the non-alcoholic beverage.
Sorry, I drank all the liquor. So anywho,
Yes.
let's bring it back up, shall we? Bam! I want to talk about you being a drag queen, because that is fascinating.
I am, in fact, a drag queen, yes. I perform in Sacramento as Miss Apple Adams in the, not any particular club, in the Lavender Heights area. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Can I meet Apple? I would really like to meet Apple.
You want to meet Apple? Yeah,
wanna
we can
meet
make that
Apple.
happen, for
Okay,
sure.
cool.
Okay. Yeah,
All right.
all right.
All right. If you could just go call her
Yeah.
and see where she's at.
I'm going to make a few calls. I'll be
Okay.
right back.
Okay.
Great.
Awesome. Cool. Me
Cool.
too.
Let's explore.